Welcome to Fan for Racing Radio. I'm Fan for Racing Sharon, and joining me is Jay Huseman. Welcome to the show, Jay.
Thank you. We're back again because we got a lot going on this weekend. All three of NASCAR's top three levels running at Martinsville, and that's quite a weekend of racing to look forward to for sure.
Yes, indeed. And we are going to preview the Xfinity Series at Martinsville right now here on Fan for Racing Radio. So thank you for watching, and we'll talk more at the end of this episode. But let's go ahead and get into the Xfinity Series. A lot going on in the Xfinity Series this weekend for the U.S. Marine Corps 250 at the 0.526 mile asphalt oval, a half-mile oval. This Saturday, March the 29th, the race starts at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on their home network, the CW. They will have pre-race coverage starting at 4:30 p.m. with radio coverage on MRN and Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90. Now, they'll race a distance of 131.5 miles over 250 laps. Stage 1 ends on lap 60. Stage 2, also 60 laps, will end on lap 120. And then the final stage will be 130 laps, ending on lap 250. So some things to watch for this weekend with regard to the Xfinity Series. On Friday, they'll have practice and the Kennemental pole qualifying on the CW app starting at 4:30 p.m. on Friday, March the 28th. And then, of course, the race, as we mentioned before, the U.S. Marine Corps 250 is at 5 p.m. on CW, MRN, and Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. So let's go ahead and get started with our storylines and insights for the Xfinity Series, Jay.
Well, you mentioned qualifying, so I want to run down this real quick. There's 40 drivers or teams on the entry list for that Marine Corps 250 Xfinity Series race at Martinsville. Their full field is 38. That means 2 drivers will miss the race. Along with our regular Xfinity Series drivers, some notables to watch. You got the 07 is Carson Ware. 17 Hendrick Motorsports car is going to be Corey Day. The 19 is Eric Almirola, and I know we got some more information on him. Mentioned this in the trucks. The number 24 is going to be Patrick Starpoli. Then you got the number 35. That'll be Greg Van Alst. The 45 will be Brad Perez. The number 53 is going to be Mason Maggio. The number 66, Tyler Tomasi. And the number 70 is Thomas Anazidiata. And the number 74, Dawson Cram. And the 91 is Myatt Schneider. Again, unfortunately, 2 of those drivers aren't going to make the show.
Oh, my. Well, I hope Patrick makes it. Okay, you want to start out with our top storyline?
All right. And with that, again, we talk about the history of Martinsville Speedway. Here in the Xfinity Series, not quite as deep as the trucks, but they'll be running their 44th Xfinity Series race at Martinsville, ranging from 1982 to 2025.
And Martinsville is also the second of our Dash for Cash races. The first was at Miami and Homestead last weekend. Then this weekend at Martinsville. Martinsville is the second of the 4. Then Bristol and Rockingham are the next 2.
The drivers eligible this weekend, based on being the top finishers last weekend, is the 00 Sheldon Creed, Justin Allgaier, and the number 7 who won it last weekend. We'll give some more stats on all this. The number 21 will be Austin Hill, and the number 41 of Sam Mayer. And off the top of my head, I cannot think of it, but it was almost the same 4. I think Sheldon Creed is the one that's different. I'll have to look that up and figure out who we're missing.
Didn't make it this time.
There you go. There you go. Thank you. Yep.
And you're right. Sheldon Creed is the new one. Okay, now Justin Allgaier won that Dash for Cash bonus last weekend at Homestead, Miami. Right now, he holds the most Dash for Cash bonus wins, the most all time.
And that also gave him back-to-back victories for the second time in his career. The last driver to win 3 in a row was Noah Gragson back in 2022 when he won 4 straight.
Amazing. Okay, now Justin Allgaier's 27th Xfinity Series win tied him with Jeff Burton for 9th all time.
You got a smile gotten to read that one, didn't you, Sharon?
Yep.
Now, Martinsville is the first of 5 short track races in 2025 for the AD Series.
And the last 9 Xfinity Series races at Martinsville were won by 8 different drivers. So will we see a different driver win this week? Or will Justin Allgaier pull it off the triple?
Well, if you're a Richard Childress fan, you're looking for them to pick up a victory because their next win will be their 100th in NASCAR Xfinity Series. Only 2 other teams have won at least 100 Xfinity Series races. You got Joe Gibbs Racing sitting at 215, and then Roush Fenway Keselowski has a total of 138.
Now, we mentioned Corey Day is racing in the Craftsman Truck Series race this weekend. Well, he's also racing in the Xfinity Series. This will be his debut at Martinsville, driving the Hendrick Motorsports number 17, which is finished in the top 5 in all 3 starts so far this season.
That's some pressure there, but I think Corey Day is ready for it. And you mentioned him making his debut. There's 2 others for a total of 3 that are making their Xfinity Series debut. The number 17 will be Corey Day. We talked about the number 24, that is Patrick Starpoli, and then the number 66 of Tyler Tomasi.
All right. 4 drivers in the field are past Xfinity Series Martinsville winners. They include Eric Almirola. He has 2 wins. Justin Allgaier has the 1 win along with Brandon Jones and Harrison Burton. One of them could very well be a repeat winner this weekend.
And we'll have to see if track history carries over to the Xfinity Series, as Christian Eckes won both Craftsman Truck races at Martinsville last year, and Carson Cavapo won the late model race there last September. So we'll see if that can carry over into their Xfinity Series driving.
We'll see. Okay, now 3 drivers finished runner-up at Martinsville in the Xfinity Series, but are still winless there. Sheldon Creed, Mr. Runner-up himself, has 2. Sammy Smith has 2, and Sam Mayer has 1. So these are drivers that don't want to finish runner-up again this year. They're hoping to improve by 1 more position.
And in the Truck Series, we saw a streak of last lap passes. 3 races this year have ended with a last lap pass, which is the most ever through 6 races in a season.
And 3 of the last 6 Martinsville races have featured last lap passes, which is always exciting for fans.
So that's doubling up on that. Expect to maybe see that this weekend. Now, the driver starting first, though, has failed to win the last 27. That is not a typo. That is what is in the stat line. The driver starting first has failed to win the last 27 races at Martinsville.
So there might be drivers not really wanting to win that pole. Okay, the stage 1 winner has won the last 4 Martinsville races, though. So if you don't win the pole, you can try to win that first stage.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. Of 27 races in a row that the pole sitter didn't win, that blows my mind.
That's amazing.
Now, this one doesn't surprise me, though. 5 of the last 7 Martinsville races finished in overtime. That's not surprising.
Okay, now let's see. Joe Gibbs Racing with 6, Junior Motorsports with 3, have combined to win the last 9 Martinsville Series races, all 9 since the series returned to the track. So 2 teams seem to be dominating.
Well, that one didn't catch me all that off guard. And here's one. I was talking about that streak in the Truck Series. I was just a little ahead of myself. But here in the Xfinity Series, 3 of the 6 races this season have gone to overtime.
Okay. That goes along with the last lap pass. 3 drivers have a series leading 4 top 5 finishes so far this season. They include Sam Mayer, Austin Hill, Justin Allgaier. Now, Mayer is the only one without a win so far this season, but all three of those drivers have 4 top 5 finishes so far in the season.
And I've mentioned that already a couple times this year. The cream is already at the top. And speaking of that, we got Eric Almirola back in for a Joe Gibbs Racing Machine. Talked about their dominance, but he's finished in the top 3 in his last 6 starts and swept both Martinsville races in 2024. I know we're not doing the fantasy thing this year, but I would be marking Eric Almirola down as my top pick.
Yeah, I think so. Brandon Jones' average finish in the last 3 races is 21 spots better than his average finish in the first 3 races of the season. So kind of an interesting stat there for Brandon Jones.
Well, and I know we like to throw out Daytona because anything can happen there, but Brandon Jones certainly did have a tough start to the season. So that's good to see he's back on track.
Yes.
Now we got a pair of drivers to talk about as far as being up front. Justin Allgaier and Jesse Love are the only drivers to finish on the lead lap in all 6 Xfinity Series races of 2025. Avoiding that trouble at Daytona and Atlanta, the super speedways, was a big thing.
Yes, indeed. All right. Now, Jesse Love, he's the only driver to score top 20 finishes in all 6 races so far this season. So kudos to Jesse Love. He's a sophomore driver this year, I believe.
He is, and he drives a Chevrolet, as does RCR. When we were talking about their looking to break their 100th win, Chevrolet has led 809 out of the 963 laps this season, and that is 84%.
Wow.
Junior Motorsports also the Chevrolet, so they definitely dominating up front.
Definitely. Now, Sheldon Creed has scored 28 more stage points through 6 races than he did last year. That's the biggest improvement of any full-time driver. And Sheldon Creed, Mr. Runner-Up, as I like to call him, definitely wants to make it into that Final 4 this season. And he's racking up those stage points for sure.
And I've talked about the Sheldon Creed there of Haas Factory. Both him and Sam Mayer coming over to that team this year. I have been impressed of not what they're capable of. I expected that just a lot earlier than what I thought. They've been pretty strong right from the get-go.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
To do a rundown on the Xfinity Series Dash for Cash, some of the things I know we hit on already, but I'll recap it. Martinsville is the second of the 4 Dash for Cash races. We had Miami Homestead last weekend, Martinsville this weekend, then Bristol and Rockingham, 3 of them being the short tracks. Mentioned Justin Allgaier picked up the one at Miami, which was his record 6 win. And then we hit the eligible ones this year, the 00 of Creed, the 7 of Allgaier, the 21 of Hill, and the 41 of Mayer. Now, the best finishing of the 4 Dash for Cash drivers will receive a $100,000 bonus. Overall, this is the 17th season in 2025 that the Dash for Cash has been a part of the Xfinity Series. And here, a total of $6,025,000 has been awarded since the start of the program, and that dates back to 2009.
Wow, that's amazing. Speaking of a Dash for Cash driver, we're going to kind of talk about Justin Allgaier here for just a minute, but we're going to talk about him along with Eric Almirola. They're chasing some milestones at Martinsville this weekend. The last 2 weeks have brought an embarrassment of riches to junior motorsports driver Justin Allgaier. He's 38 years old, and he's a veteran from right here in Illinois, Riverton, Illinois. He scored maiden victories in 2 intermediate tracks, both Las Vegas Motor Speedway and Homestead Miami Speedway, winning consecutive races in the Xfinity Series for the second time in his career. Now, in addition, Allgaier claimed that $100,000 Dash for Cash bonus that we've been talking about for his win at Homestead, bringing his career total to those 6 bonuses that Jay talked about. But this Saturday afternoon at Martinsville Speedway, Allgaier will try to win his third consecutive race for the first time in his career when he drives the number 7 Junior Motorsports Chevrolet in Saturday's U.S. Marine Corps 250. So Martinsville is a pretty strong track for Justin Allgaier. You saw that we did talk about him winning there before. So they've got some momentum on their side running into Martinsville this weekend, and we'll see if he can make it 3 in a row. To extend his record in the Dash for Cash bonuses, Allgaier will have to beat his fellow competitors, and we've mentioned them a couple of times already. Sam Mayer, Austin Hill, and Sheldon Creed. Allgaier finished 6th or better in his last 5 Martinsville starts, but he'll have plenty of competition from part-time driver from Joe Gibbs Racing, and that's Eric Almirola. He swept both events at Martinsville last year. So in 3 starts so far this season, Almirola has won at Phoenix. He had a 2nd place finish at Las Vegas and a 3rd place finish at Atlanta. So he's going to be a strong competitor because I think he was the only multi-win driver at Martinsville as well. So there's going to be some stiff competition at Martinsville this week, Jay.
Yeah, and I'm not going to discount any other drivers, but I think that is the storyline. I know I said picking Eric Almirola as my first pick. I think Dustin Allgaier, especially when you look at the history of Hendrick Motorsports and then translating over to Junior Motorsports a little bit of the history there at Martinsville Speedway. So I think that those two are probably the top 2 picks. But again, with money on the line, Sheldon Creed and Sam Mayer for Haas Factory. I know Ford doesn't have the record there, but that could be that surprise story of the weekend. I think we're in for some great racing, but I do see it as kind of a Eric Almirola, Justin Allgaier heads-up battle at this point.
I think so too. If you're going to take Eric Almirola, I'll take Justin Allgaier. my Illinois, my fellow Illinoisan driver.
Well, I guess that leaves the rest of the fans with the rest of the field. And let me tell you, though, like I said, I would not discount anybody else just based on the stats. Those two seem to be the odds-on favorites. I know we haven't had Brian be able to do our DraftKings odds, but yeah, they definitely got to be the odds-on favorites going into the weekend.
Definitely. All right, that pretty much completes our Xfinity Series preview, but I do want to tell you to watch for more coming soon. We do have an interview with Patrick Staropoli on the books for Monday night, so we'll be interviewing him after he races at Martinsville in both the Craftsman Truck Series as well as the Xfinity Series. And we're looking forward to talking to him. We've been looking forward to talking to him for quite a while now. So definitely we'll have fun talking to him on Monday night. But we also have our Hot Topics sound off coming on Monday night as well. And we have myself, Jay, and Chris Crichton will be joining us.
Yeah, I was just going to say, look forward to that. Having Chris back again this week. I know I already kind of got a couple of ideas that I'm going to want to talk about, and that's going into the Martinsville race. That may all change because we may be talking about something like a few years back. We had the Hail Melon. I know we won't hopefully have to talk about that as it's been outlawed, but you never know what might come out of Martinsville. So we won't give a full hard list of what it is because, like I said, we got to wait and see how the racing goes. I guarantee you we can talk about Monday, and it won't be me and Chris, but we will talk about somebody being mad at somebody else.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that will happen. We will be doing the previews for all 3 series on Monday as well. So sometimes we get them out all on Monday, but sometimes that 1 or 2 of them might come out on Tuesday instead. But do watch for those, as well as our Hot Topic Sound Off conversation as well. So we hope you enjoy what we're offering here with our previews of Martinsville, as well as our reviews of the Martinsville races on Monday. And I believe Sal will be back with us on Monday as well. So Sal will probably help us out with some of those reviews. But we want to tell you thank you for watching. We do appreciate you taking the time to hear what we have to say. We have a lot of fun putting these together, and we hope you enjoyed as much as we enjoy doing it. So with that, Jay, I think we're ready to move on to our next video, which will be our preview of the NASCAR Cup Series at Martinsville Speedway.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Sharon.
Okay, take care. We'll see you in the next video.